Hi, Bob here from the great state of Michigan. Turning over to Mike and Melissa for another video of Outdoor with the Morgans.
So welcome back everyone, Mike here. This evening I am spreading some limestone and trying to stay out of the mud, and I have a feeling there's a lot of people here, especially in the east, doing the same thing right about now. This past week I got 2 Facebook messages and an email asking if I had any tips on how to spread stone with a tractor. And I got to thinking about it, so I went on YouTube to see if there's any other videos out there like that, and there are several. And I watched a couple of them, and everybody seems to do things a little bit differently. I saw several guys, they kind of go out and they're trying to pour the rock out of the bucket, and you get these piles out in front of you, and then they're trying to back drag it and make it smooth. And you can do that, it just takes some time. Other guys are kind of dumping the same piles out in front of them and then trying to push through them to make it smooth. You can do that as well. I have a little bit of a different approach, and what I noticed was everybody was trying to pour the rock out of the bucket, which kind of makes sense. You're just trying to pour it out of the bucket. But the way I see it, you want to shake it out of the bucket. And I look at it this way. Say you have a hard-boiled egg. And by the way, I love hard-boiled eggs with a little bit of salt on it, right? You don't pour the salt on the hard-boiled egg. If you do, it all ends up in one spot. You know what I'm saying? And you don't smooth it around then. You shake it on. Kind of evenly distributes the salt over the hard-boiled egg. Spreading rock's kind of the same thing. All right, first off, whenever you're having stone delivered, and you know they're going to dump it in a big pile for you, make sure they dump it in a spot that's nice and flat all the way around it. It'll just make things a lot easier for you when you're trying to go into that pile and get a full bucket of stone each time. So now I'm going to go into this pile of limestone here. I got my bucket flat with the ground. I'm just going to touch the ground. And as soon as I start getting a little resistance, I'll lift up just a little, curl back, kind of lift up, and you have a nice full bucket of stone. You don't need to spin your tires or ram the pile real hard or anything like that. Just as long as you're moving forward, once you have a little resistance, you lift up, curl back, lift up, curl back, and you'll have a full bucket of stone. Now, as I'm getting close to where I want to place the stone, I raise my bucket up a little bit, maybe just about, you know, the height of the hood. And the reason I do that is so I can see underneath of it, and can you see how much is coming out. Then I'll start tilting it forward real easy. And as soon as you start seeing some stone come out, you want to start just kind of shaking your bucket. Just shake it real nice and easy, back and forth, back and forth. And what you're doing, you're just sprinkling that stone on there, kind of like that whole salt shaker thing I was talking about. And I don't try to put the stone down, you know, if I need 2 or 3 inches of stone, I don't try to put it all down in one lift. I just take my time, go back and forth, sprinkle it on, and you can, you know, you can put it right where you need it without wasting a whole bunch. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you screw up a little bit and you dump a big pile in front of you, you need to fix that pile, because if you leave it there, every time you hit it when you're trying to put that next layer on, you're going to be leaving little whoop-de-whoops, and it'll just keep getting worse and worse. But what I'll do here in a minute, I'll bring the camera, another camera inside here, show you exactly what I'm doing here, you know, with the loader control, and you have a pretty good idea how this works. Alright, I'm getting close to where I want to place the stone. So I'm going to raise the loader up just above the hood a little bit. Start tilting it out. As soon as that stone starts to come out, I'm going to start shaking. So I never back drug this at all. That's all just from shaking the stone on like I showed you. So that's really all there is to it. So to kind of review what we talked about, when you're going into a pile of stone, you want to get that nice big full bucket of stone. You want to make sure your bucket is flat with the ground, or I guess you could say parallel with the ground, and just skimming the surface. You don't want to put any down pressure on. And as you're easing into that pile, as soon as you get some resistance, lift up a little bit, curl back a little bit, lift up, curl back, and just kind of follow it up, and you'll have a nice full bucket of stone. Now, when you're spreading the stone, like I said, concentrate on shaking it out, not pouring it out. If you pour it out, you're going to get a whole bunch here, not so much there, a whole bunch there. It's just not going to work out real well, and it's going to get kind of frustrating. Just shake it out, nice and easy. Lift that bucket up about, just above your hood height, just a little bit. And make sure you don't have any side hill or anything like that where you're worried about tipping over sideways. And just start shaking it. As soon as you see the first couple pieces come out, and continue to do that, and you can concentrate on putting that stone exactly where you want it. And another reason I like having that bucket up in the air a little bit is there's some distance from the bucket to the ground. And so as it's falling, it hits the ground and kind of disperses, and it just all kind of evens itself out. And it looks really nice. It's nice and smooth. It all just kind of finds its place there on your driveway. But anyway, I think that's about it. And like I always say, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button, click subscribe, and share them with your friends. Thanks.
Good evening, boys and girls. Jeff here again from Fleetwood, England, on our beach. If you've been watching Outdoors with the Morgans, click like, click subscribe, and share with your friends. Happy days!